Hello and welcome to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. I am delighted to be joined by West Midlands indie rockers Rosa Caelum, who have recently released their debut single, Killed the King, a song that we at This is the Music are absolutely massive fans of. Lads, thanks very much for coming on today. How are you all doing?
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Great stuff. It's brilliant to have you on. Obviously, we've been chatting on and off a little bit over the socials and that. So nice to sort of finally meet you all sort of face to face, even if it is only virtually. So obviously, just to kick things off, can you just run through who you all are and what your role is within the band?
Yeah, cool. Me guys. I'm Liam. I'm one of two guitarists. I'm Travis, and I'm the bass guitarist.
I'm Rob, frontman, lead singer.
I'm Ben. I'm the other guitarist.
I'm Jack. I play drums.
Excellent, lovely. So, can you just sort of give us a little bit of background into how the band started, and sort of how you all know each other?
Bit of a long story, really.
There's a few avenues. I mean, me, Trav and Ben went to school with each other, but we didn't really know we played like instruments or like kind of clicked with music. But wasn't until like I don't know, like 2 years ago we sort of
started 2020.
Started playing together, and just because I'd been in a couple of bands before, but then like just wasn't happy, so wanted to do something better, and then luckily these two were ready for it. And then I played football with Jake for a few years before.
A long time ago.
Yeah, and just met him at a gig again, and it was just just a good like accident. And then me and Rob have been sort of doing bits for a while, and then
I've had no real music experience, and me and Liam had a jam a couple of years ago, and from that he recommended me to these guys, so that's how I ended up here.
Lovely. Hey, great little background story there. And obviously sort of maybe it was a fate that you're all sort of met back up again and type of thing, and sort of going further forward with the music. So one of the things that has sort of got my curiosity is, where did you get the name Rosa Caelum from?
Well, it's kind of, it was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just like I don't know. We were just sort of messing about, and
we came up with loads. You said something like the Willows first.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I was thinking, shit.
Really?
And then I was thinking
the Willows.
We threw around that. Me and Liam threw around the name Tsarina as well.
Yeah,
called that for a while. Which is I don't know what
it's like a Russian
leader.
Russian czars and things, but like
we ended up with Rosa Caelum, which is how we pronounce it, but you could say Caelum. So.
Yeah, we don't really know how to pronounce it, to be fair.
It's
brilliant.
It's Latin.
It is, I think we thought it was Latin for pink sky, but it actually means like rose in heaven or something.
Rose in heaven. Or something like that.
Hey, I like that. That's really good. That's a cool meaning, really. So yeah, and I like the other names as well that you sort of come up with, and probably a good idea that you vetoed the Willows, to be fair. So this could cause a bit of ruptions here in the band right now. So who would you say is the practical joker? The one person that everyone else is always keeping their eyes on to make sure that they're not up to, not going to cause any mischief or anything like that.
I'd probably say
Trav.
Me.
I'd say Ben.
I'd say Ben looks the most innocent, but is the most savage out of all of us.
If you ever see him at a gig and you watch him, he's just constantly messing with his pedal board. He's constantly messing with things.
He likes to beat up his guitar as well.
He really does.
I just get so angry.
Brilliant, love it. So have you Trav, have you got anything there that you want to say back to the rest of them? Are they totally wrong, or?
No, I was saying Ben definitely, because I feel like he's like I said, he beats up his guitar.
If you watch out,
you don't want to come too close to Ben.
He likes the little kicks as well when he's playing, so you've got to just be wary if
Yeah,
he comes
yeah.
near you.
I'm still.
Don't stand next to him on stage.
We'll have to dodge a few.
Yeah.
Couple glasses.
So obviously, as you guys know, we here at This Is The Music are sort of championing new and upcoming bands and artists, obviously like yourselves. So are there any sort of new bands or artists that you're currently listening to at the moment?
I've from your page actually, I was listening to Columbia quite a bit. They're quite a very good band. Like,
Nice, lovely.
Been to see the Claws, the K's. I don't know if they're so much upcoming now, but they're brilliant live. It's just nice seeing like small bands, I suppose, like with that massive audience and like seeing everyone sing their songs. It kind of gives us a bit of a motivation to do the same.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I would agree. I think the Claws and the K's and Columbia, I think they're all still on that upcoming sort of stage. But obviously, I think the Claws and obviously they're going out on a big tour soon, aren't they? So, which if you're going to, I'm sure that for the listeners as well would be a great couple of gigs for them. So anyway, going back onto you guys, I'm not going to promote other bands too much on this, but this is all about you. But obviously, your debut single, "Killed the King," is absolute belter of a track. So how did this song come about in terms of like the writing process, the recording process, and you know what? Because you've called it sort of like as a demo rather than, I guess, like a proper single, if that makes some sort of sense. Was there any reasoning behind that at all?
Yeah, because I do most of the sort of production type of things, and like having it in my room. So like we haven't really done it at a studio. So I think if it was to be done in a proper studio, we'd properly figure it out and get it tight as anything, then we'd call it a single. But I think just to get it out there, get music, get people listen to the music, and then it'd be a good start to get gigs and everything like that. But it was really just me recording in my room and then sort of send it off to the lads, we figure it out, and then come over to mine and we'll just do like a couple of recordings over a couple of days, and then that sort of came about like that, really.
Okay. And did you get like the sound that you had in your head, was that like the final like what we hear, or did any of the other members come along and go, I'm going to, like Rob, for example, did he change the lyrics, or was there a different drum beat or a bit of bass line in there to what you visualised, or is it pretty much how you thought it was going to be?
There's always like minute changes the whole
way. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, like with the drums, for example, how we play it live now and things is just it's sort of taken on like a different route now. So I mean, you're never really going to get it the same, but I think with the sounds and the guitars and things, I'm pretty close to what we play live and things, which is what I want to try and get across. And like a couple more recordings that we're going to do, really want to get that live sound across digitally and things like that when we're recording.
We did tweak it quite a bit as well since Liam made this song years ago, I'd say, probably 2020.
Yeah.
But obviously because of COVID and everything, we had to mix up the lineup of the band and how we're playing live and everything. We only really started launching, I think it was November this year.
Yeah.
Last year, sorry, it's 2021. So we've had to change. We've changed the verse a bit. The second verse, that used to be some different lyrics. We changed the length for the chorus as well. Cut out a bit of the second chorus, so it was straight into the riff. Really. But it's taken a lot of work. But glad we just got to get something out there.
Definitely.
Before we started playing live. Really.
Yeah, well, as you know, I think it's a great tune, and it's quite interesting. I quite like hearing how, you know, you've gone from sort of like the demo, so to speak, in the bedroom to what, you know, to the version that obviously we've been lucky enough to hear, and, you know, across all the streaming and download platforms, etc. So I think I've got this right, that obviously to date you've played 2 gigs sort of in the last, well, probably what, 4 to 5 weeks or so, I think it is. One of these was a Battle of the Bands style gig at Valfest. And you also had a support slot at the Dead Wax in Dead Wax Digbeth. It's easy for me to say. So a couple of questions here, really. What was it like playing live in front of an audience for the first time? What sort of reaction did you get from the audience at those gigs? And how as well did you find the whole sort of Battle of the Bands experience?
Well, the Battle of the Bands was kind of a really good first gig, just because there wasn't a lot of people in the audience, because we was literally the first that time out of like
About midday, wasn't it?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 12 o'clock in the afternoons. It's in the middle of nowhere, like in the well, not it's on the campus, but it's like
Yeah.
freezing
Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
And with everyone obviously being uni students, I guess they were hanging from the night before. No one's getting up that early.
I think there's more people in line for the carousel, but that's
Yeah, there was a massive like theme park next to us, and they were queuing up for that rather than.
Well, we did get quite a few people that wanted to just hear us.
yeah.
Everyone was more excited for the gig the week after, because we'd already promoted that way in advance.
Yeah.
So they'd already bought tickets.
The crowd was really good there as well.
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
Digbeth was a very good night.
Yeah, and I guess the reaction as well, because I'm guessing you played sort of some other original songs which you've kind of just touched on in the previous answer. So, what did, obviously in addition to Kill the King, what sort of reaction did you get to the sort of the unheard songs, I guess, probably, or unreleased songs, I should say? Sorry.
I'd say probably better.
Yeah,
Definitely better. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's good for people going live as well. It's kind of an incentive to go because they're hearing something they haven't heard before.
Yeah.
Spotify, it's good to release songs and get people to know your lyrics and things like that. But playing it live, you can just experiment, before you release it.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you've played a couple of gigs. I'm guessing that you must be itching to get back out there and get some more gigs under your belt.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think all of us, we can't sort of wait to get to the next one and more after that. There's just, well, for me anyway, there's nothing like playing live and like this feeling you get.
It's completely different to the house.
It's mental.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you how do you find playing live together rather than like in comparison to sort of being in the studio? But that might be a bit hard to answer because of how you explained the recording process for Kill the King, I'm guessing. But
We shocked each other really.
Yeah.
I think we had a much better chemistry live than we thought we were going to.
Yeah.
Obviously in the studio we're all really good mates and we have a good laugh when we're recording or whatever. But when we were live, I think we just had a beer down our necks, get a bit of Dutch courage, and then we're in the crowd.
Yeah.
You were in the crowd.
Crowd surfing by the
nothing wrong with a bit of Dutch courage before anything. let alone playing in front of a load of people. So, for those that are obviously you mentioned that you're hoping to get some sort of more gigs in the future. For people that haven't come down and seen you live yet, what can they expect from a Rosa Caelum gig?
I've got how you describe it.
Oh, it's a sick yet angelic sound. as my dad described it, a tapestry. And he was going, Trav, that was like a tapestry. I don't know what that means, but I'll make it.
We had a lot of feedback last time as well. A lot of people coming up to us saying, "My God, you're actually much better live than what you give yourself credit for."
Yeah.
Because they've never seen anything from us before. They've only heard the Spotify song, and you can only do that. So you can't make it as thick as you want to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, live it's a completely different sound.
It's like it's a different animal. Isn't it? It's like it's just huge, massive. Like Trav's bass, I think it's one thing in our sound that's just probably like a concrete thing that will just be there forever, and it's just unbelievable. And then like couple it with like Ben's swirling guitars, it just, I don't know, it really adds an atmosphere. Like
So a very electric, but angelic sound.
Yeah.
Well, you can definitely hear that, and I think that must be like a real what you were just saying there about the feedback and that you've had. That must be like a real like boost, and I guess as well reassurance that how you guys want it to sound, that's actually how it's coming across, like in the audiences as well, which must, as I say, must be great to hear.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you personally prefer to listen to music? Vinyl, CD, or sort of streaming or downloads?
I think vinyl preferably, but just streaming is so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, some people say that kind of removes the magic from it, which I can see.
Yeah.
So, like I said, preferably records and record players.
I love records.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see it, but
I will take your word for it that there's a record right there. So if you guys, and you can all jump in here on this one, if you had a musical time machine, what era of music would you like to be transported back to?
Oh, can we pick several?
Should we have an answer?
Yeah.
Do you go first, Joe?
I'd love to get to the 80s dance scene.
That would be class.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably like late 90s, early noughties, so like Blur, Britpop, Interpol, early Monkeys, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd say 2000. So you got the Arctic Monkeys blowing up, Fratellis, things like that. That's stuff I like.
Late 60s, early 70s. So like Sabbath, Cream, Hendrix, Zeppelin, The Doors, all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to join Trav there. I'm like early 60s, early 60s, early 70s, those types of things for sure. Yeah.
Great choices, and I guess as well that's the reason for the choices as well, because that must be who influences you personally in terms of what music you listen to. So and obviously great eras. I wasn't quite expecting the 80s dance and the reaction.
That's actually stupid.
So I'm guessing I might kind of have a rough idea to this answer already based on the answer that you just gave. So if you were putting on a musical festival, which 5 bands would you look to add to the bill?
What, a band each?
Should we be honest?
Yeah.
Be the maddest lineup you've ever heard.
It's a hard
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say soft cell, but I can't really say it. No, I'll put Joy Division on there.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Good start.
Radiohead.
Love,
I'd
nice.
have Arctic Monkeys on this.
Well, I was going to say Zeppelin, but I feel like if they were on, like, we'd just look like nothing. So, well, so kind of the same as the Doors, but like I'd say the Doors.
I'm going to go Small Faces.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good show.
Great. All 5 of them are fantastic choices. And again, who would be your musical inspiration? Sort of the ones that I guess kind of like first got you into music, and maybe sort of even perhaps shaping the sound of the band at the moment.
I think from what I can remember, the first band I ever listened to or ever had any knowledge of was Oasis. Definitely maybe would be on repeat around the house constantly, and I just can't get it's just one thing that's just going to be with me forever is that album, especially. Definitely. Anybody else?
Albums that
Or just something that's
I
influenced
feel
you
like influence.
Yeah.
I guess.
Got into music.
Well, I think the first kind of music I listened to was like 90s hip hop, and then it kind of from there went into rock. And I think the first rock I listened to was probably like Hendrix and things like that, and Cream. So I guess Cream is a massive influence.
Yeah.
I'd say I got influenced mainly by going to a live gig itself. Because I used to listen to quite pop music or what was coming up at the time in the charts when I was in middle school or whatever. But my first gig was Iron Maiden, I think. So I got thrown in at the deep end. And then after that, it was Liam Gallagher, and both great gigs, different styles, obviously. But you know, I've really enjoyed it.
The first gig I went to was BDI. Like that's the Liam Gallagher sort of thing again.
Yeah,
coming through.
The first band I listened to properly was Red Hot Chili Peppers. I
Yeah.
think.
It's not bad though.
No.
Oh, they've got some.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like John Frusciante as a guitarist. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. Yeah, that's the main reason I picked up his song.
Because he's just rejoined the band, hasn't he? Have I got that right?
Yeah, they're releasing an album next month, I think, or the month after.
Been interested to listen to that one.
Yeah.
They released a single, Black Summer, I think.
I haven't listened to it.
It's pretty good. It grew on me when I first listened to it. I didn't think much. But like,
I'll have a listen.
it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Nice.
My first album I bought was Gorillaz, but then like I got introduced to Kasabian by my dad, and that was it. That was the kind of route that I was sort of gone down, definitely.
Hey, they're all fantastic, great answers, and as I say, I think you can hear certainly some of the bands, you can sort of hear the influence anyway on Killed the King, in my opinion. So I'm not surprised to hear the answers that you've given there. So, what was the first album or maybe single that you personally purchased?
Sorry.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is a pretty good one. I'm happy with this. It was the first record I'd ever bought, and I was doing some eBay bidding, and I was like, what can I get here? What can I find? And I found a 1976 pressing of Sgt. Pepper's, and I got it for £1.99. So I think that's a pretty good one, to be fair.
That is indeed bargain.
Yeah, very big, yeah, good bargain.
The first record I owned was Ready to Die by Big Smalls, which is a bit far from rock, but
Yeah,
still,
it's a good album.
still a classic album.
It's not very rock and roll of the front man, but mine was probably Now album.
What year?
I couldn't tell you. I had loads of them up to. I had about 20 of them. But if you're looking at when I started going down this line of music, probably I started streaming the first Started Monkeys album. That was what really got me into it.
I think my first CD was a McFly CD.
It's gone from McFly to
Yeah. Good transition.
Don't shake your head. My first vinyl, I think it was Hot Buttered Soul by Isaac Hayes. I think. I don't know why. It's a great album, though.
Don't say soft stuff.
I got bought the greatest hits of Guns N' Roses, my first one, because I was sort of like into Guitar Hero and everything at the time. But the first one I bought myself was Gorillaz' Demon Days, purely because of the photo.
Yeah.
Then I played it, I was like, oh, little 10-year-old me was loving it.
Brilliant. So you've done your gig, and there's a massive after party going along, and for some unknown reason, someone has brought a karaoke machine with them. So what would be your karaoke go-to song?
Oh,
Go on, you got one.
I'm guessing it could be something from one of your now. That's what I call music albums.
I'd go something like Valerie.
Classic.
It's got to be some Motown tune, any sort of, I don't know. Yeah, any Motown. Ain't No Mountain High Enough or something. It's got to be.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Ooh, ee, ah, ah,
And we've even got a little outtake there for what people could sound like.
I can't think of it.
I'll probably go The Chain. To be fair.
Yeah.
Classic tune.
Sam Smith.
Or some George Ezra or something like that. You know what I mean? Like easy to do.
That's a great answer for you as well. You can have a live exclusive from Rosa Caelum in the
I am thinking about this now. So, a couple of random questions. Well, maybe random. Well, maybe not random than the last question. So, what is your favourite chocolate bar?
Bueno, white Bueno.
It's got to be Twirl at the minute for me. Yeah, definitely.
That's tough, man. I was probably going to look a Boost bar.
Oh my Boost.
Boost,
Yeah.
But like the duo, because the ones that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Twix. You look like a Twix player.
Oh my God.
I love when all gone duo bars.
Rosa Caelum, the fat bastard. Sorry, I don't know if I don't know if we can swear, but
Yeah, it's fine.
oh, I'd go for a crunchy, maybe.
Nah.
I love a
I like crunches. Here's a Friday feeling.
And keeping with the food theme, what is your favourite flavour of crisps?
Oh, cheese and onion. Oh, sorry.
Really?
Straight Walker's cheese and onion.
Straight in.
Chicken. Oh, they do that shit. Every shift at work, I have to have a packet of chicken crisps from behind a bar.
It's part of his contract.
Yeah. On a cob at the same time. Yeah.
I like the. Is it like roast beef McCoy's or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like those ones.
Yeah.
I have to say smoky bacon.
Oh yeah.
I love smoky.
Hey,
Low
all top tier crisps flavours in my view. So absolutely love them answers. So what kind of like now then is going to be sort of like, well, I guess the next chapter for you guys? What can we expect from you across 2020? More new music, live gigs? What are the plans?
Well, we got a few gigs in the pipeline. We've had actually from the last gig a couple of promoters messaging us first instead of we going to them. They're saying we've seen you've done this or whatever. Would you want to play with us? We're like, yeah, of course. I mean, the social media following, it's not really something you can judge. It's about engagement, isn't it? More than following. But
It has had a little boost recently after.
well, since we launched on November 14th or whatever it was, something like that, we've gained about 200 followers, which is not too bad for a couple of months. Then on, we've had one or two big.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're slowly increasing, but hoping for one day just it all clicks and we're off.
I think we're gonna record our like originals that we haven't recorded yet that we've been doing live as well.
We've had a lot of feedback saying you need to get them on Spotify.
Yeah.
They're really good live, but they'll sound sick on Spotify, so we'll get them done.
I mean, I do have a free house for the rest of the day if you want.
There you go.
Yeah, of course. You want to record demos?
So the original recordings that you're talking about doing, would they be like released as like standalone singles, or would you maybe looking to sort of put them on like an EP or something like that, or is that still to be decided?
We was on about an EP.
Yeah.
I think we might release a few more singles first and then start thinking about an EP.
I think the important thing right now is just we get content out there. People can, because we wrote Kill the King 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What we're coming up with now is much more experimentative, and we've got a lot more of our influences in there. You can really see our sound from that. You can't really tell from one single, can you?
I think we've become more confident with it all.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Well, I'm personally looking forward to the 80s dance music that you're going to bring out, hopefully lads, that is unfortunately the end of the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've had a right laugh with you guys. And I hope that you have as well. Just before you go, obviously you briefly mentioned there about the social media increase that you've had, but can you just let everybody know what socials you're on and where they can find you?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube as well. Just at Rosa Caelum. So that's CAELUM.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
And we'll add all of the channels on the episode bio as well to make it a little bit easier for people to find all of you. If you weren't already aware, Rosa Caelum's debut single Kill the King is out now across all streaming and download platforms, and I highly recommend that you do go and check it out, because as I said before, it is an absolute banger, and it just gives you a real, I know it's the debut, but it does give you a very, very good introduction into the band and what they're all about. And I think, really, really do mean this, I think you guys have got the potential just off that one single to, get yourselves out there and increase your, not just your following, but the streams and all that sort of stuff, and to make a real big impact on the industry.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Not a problem at all. So all that is left for me to say is to thank everyone for tuning in to the This Is The Music Meets Rosa Caelum podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep receiving all of the latest This Is The Music podcast information and replays of our Rise of the Indie Artist radio show. But more importantly, do give the band a follow on their socials, because they are going to be one of the next big bands across 2022 and beyond. Lads, as I say, thanks very much, and I will speak to you and hopefully catch you at a gig in the very, very near future.
Yeah, of course.
Nice one.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thank you.
Nice one. Been a pleasure.